Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Meghan Markle's dad, Thomas, 76, says the new documentary will feature previously unseen home video footage of his daughter and will focus on her childhood and her pursuit of an acting career. Meghan Markle's dad is making a documentary about his life and his relationship with his daughter before they became estranged, it is reported. Thomas Markle Sr., 76, said the film will feature previously unseen home video footage of his daughter and his favourite photo of his baby girl. Some of the questions it will explore are what happened to my baby girl and what went wrong, he added. The documentary will focus on his upbringing, his time in Hollywood as a daytime Emmy award-winning lighting director, and my life with Meghan from when she was a child at the beginning of her acting career. Mr. Markle said he was working with a cinematographer and hopes to complete the film by the end of 2021. It comes as Meghan sues Associated Newspapers, the publisher of the Mail on Sunday and Mail Online, over publication of a letter the Duchess wrote to her estranged father in August 2018, 5 months after he missed her wedding to Prince Harry. Mr. Markle could be called to testify if the case proceeds to a trial later this year. His evidence forms part of the Associated Newspapers' defence against Meghan's allegation of breach of privacy, copyright and data protection, according to documents filed at the High Court. He said the new documentary will offer a more complete picture after taking part in the film that aired on Channel 5 last year. The dad of three, who lives in Rosarito, Mexico, told The Sun, "It begins with my life, my family, my love of theatre and television and how I got there. Then my life with Meghan, growing up, her school days until she went off to college and when her career began. We had a good life together up through her first marriage and her move to Canada. Then a new story begins. It's kind of like what happened to my baby girl." Meghan, 39, and Harry, 36, and their son Archie, who turns 2 in May, are now living in a mansion near Los Angeles after the couple stepped down from their royal duties at the end of March last year. They have signed a lucrative deal to record and produce podcasts for streaming giant Spotify. The deal involving their production company, Archewell Audio, is estimated to be worth around £30 million. The announcement came a few months after the couple signed a Netflix deal to produce a range of programmes and series rumoured to be worth more than £100 million. Meanwhile, a royal author claims Meghan bought a gift to the royal family that was not appreciated by Prince William and Kate before Megxit. And RTV news presenter Tom Bradbury said this week that Megxit resulted in a lot of hurt feelings on all sides, with Harry heartbroken by the situation with his family. He also said the process of walking away from their royal roles and setting up life in America has just been incredibly painful for Harry and Meghan. Meghan Markle's letter to her estranged dad signalled the end of our relationship, her father Thomas Markle has told the High Court. The Duchess of Sussex is suing the publisher of the Mail on Sunday and Mail Online over a series of articles which reproduced parts of the handwritten letter sent to her 76-year-old dad in August 2018. The 39-year-old is seeking damages for alleged misuse of private information, copyright infringement and breach of the Data Protection Act over 5 articles published in February 2019. They include extracts from the private and confidential letter to her dad. Meghan's lawyers argued that the publication of an intricately private, personal and sensitive letter was a plain and serious invasion of her privacy and say Associated Newspapers Limited, A&L, has no prospect of defending her privacy and copyright claims. A&L claims that Meghan wrote the letter with a view to it being disclosed publicly at some future point in order to defend her against charges of being an uncaring and unloving daughter. The Duchess is applying for summary judgment, a legal step which could see those parts of the case resolved without a trial, in relation to her claims for misuse of private information and breach of copyright. In a witness statement filed by A&L's lawyers for the hearing, which started on Tuesday, Mr. Markle said the suggestion by a longtime friend of his daughter in an interview with People magazine that Meghan sent the letter to repair our relationship was false. He also claimed he had to defend himself against the People article, which he said had vilified me by making out that I was dishonest, exploitative, publicity-seeking, uncaring and cold-hearted. Mr. Markle said in his statement, "The letter was not an attempt at reconciliation, it was a criticism of me. The letter didn't say she loved me, it did not even ask how I was, it showed no concern about the fact I had suffered a heart attack and asked no questions about my health. It actually signalled the end of our relationship, not a reconciliation." Mr. Markle also said the article in People magazine wrongly accused him of telling mistruths and contained other inaccuracies about me. He said, "It was wrong for People magazine to say I had lied about Meg shutting me out. She had shut me out, but the letter from her showed." Mr. Markle criticised People for suggesting I was to blame for the end of the relationship as I had ignored her, saying that was false. I had repeatedly tried to reach her after the wedding, but I couldn't find a way of getting her to talk to me. He added, "Until I read the article in People magazine, I had never intended to talk publicly about Meg's letter to me. The content of that article caused me to change my mind. It was only by publishing the text of the letter that I could properly set the record straight and show that what People magazine had published was false and unfair. The article had given an inaccurate picture of the contents of the letter and my reply and had vilified me by making out that I was dishonest, exploitative, publicity-seeking, uncaring and cold-hearted, leaving a loyal and dutiful daughter devastated. I had to defend myself against that attack." A&L's barrister Anthony White QC earlier argued that Meghan's admission she had a fear that her letter to her father might be intercepted showed that she must, at the very least, have appreciated that her father might choose to disclose it. He added that the admitted falsity of the People magazine article, which A&L says brought the letter to her father into the public domain, meant Mr Markle was not only entitled to correct public information about the letter and the reply, it was in the public interest that he did so. Mr White argued, "Mr Markle has a right to tell his story of his relationship and communications with his daughter. No US court would stop him from doing so, and he could have and could still, whatever the outcome of this case, speak to the US media on this topic at any time." He also referred to the involvement of the Kensington Palace communications team before the letter was sent, saying, "No truly private letter from daughter to father would require any input from the Kensington Palace communications team." Justin Rushbrook QC, representing the Duchess, described the handwritten letter as a heartfelt plea from an anguished daughter to her father, which was sent to Mr Markle at his home in Mexico via the claimant's accountant to minimise the risk of interception. He said the contents and character of the letter were intricately private, personal and sensitive in nature, and that Meghan therefore had a reasonable expectation of privacy in respect to the contents of the letter. Mr Rushbrook argued that there is no real prospect of the defendant establishing that the claimant had no reasonable expectation of privacy in relation to the contents of the letter, and the defendant's contentions to the contrary are utterly fanciful. The full trial of the Duchess's claim was due to be heard at the High Court this month, but last year the case was adjourned until autumn 2021 for a confidential reason. The remote hearing before Mr Justice Warby is due to last 2 days and is expected he will reserve his judgment to a later date. Thanks for listening. Please like, comment and subscribe.